So this project is a template for a dashboard for each individual student. So what this does is it gives each student their own personal owed work, their homework for the night, and then this area here you can use in a variety of ways. The way that I use it in my school is it's part of our PBIS program to track behaviors, homework completion, preparedness for class, things like that. You can get rid of it altogether if you don't want that part. I have another version that doesn't have it. So the way this works is we start here on the sharing links page and we type in our students' names in columns B and C. We don't touch column A. That will populate as we type them in. So as I type in a few fake names here, just to kind of give you an idea of what's going to happen, we'll do that should do it. So these names are now here. They've populated here. I have 9 students to work with. Up at the top here, you should have this in your menu. It's called Dashboard Tools. If you don't have it yet, it is supposed to open on when you open the sheet, but you may need to go into here to give permissions. So to do that, you're just going to go into App Script and go to this Copy Student Template, and the on open is the one that we need to give permission to. So we're just going to hit on open. We're going to run it. It's going to ask you to give permissions. This is just going to look at this individual Google Sheet and make changes to this individual Google Sheet. So it does require you to give permission. It has not been verified. Doesn't mean it's unsafe. So we give it permission. We let it look at the Google Sheet and edit it. That's what it needs to do, and that's why it's asking for that verification. So once we do that, if it's still not here, you can just close and reopen and it'll add it on open. So those dashboard tools are now there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to then sync student names from these dashboard tools, and it will create a sheet for each student. So you'll see it as it's running the script down the bottom, changing these names from S1, S2 to the actual student names, Liam Black, Sarah Cooper. So it's going to go through and do that. It's going to take a minute. And not only is it adding a sheet for each student, but it's also updating some of my other sheets to have these names as well. And in the same order, it's going to alphabetize everybody and get it all organized for us to use. We only need to do this once at the beginning of the year. So while this part is slightly tedious, the setup, once we do it, we only really need to work in a couple of these sheets for the rest of the year. So you can see everyone now has their own Google Sheet with owed work, homework, and whatever data you want to use in that part. And I will give you a little bit more information about how we use it. But so once it's done, it should be just about done. It's going to tell you that the sheets have synced and are sorted correctly. So now I can come back here. I have my sharing links. I have all the names of my students. They're now alphabetized. In student schedules, I have all the names of my students. In classes, this is where if you'd like to have homework for separate classes or even individual students, if you have modified assignments or something like that, you can do that here. The only caveat here is whatever your subject names are on the top, you can't use the same name for the class. So you can change these, but you can't call it this LA if it says LA up top, because then it's going to have some trouble matching the correct class. So I might say period 1, period 2, period 3, something like that. And then math, maybe I have an algebra or geometry, social studies, maybe there's only one. Science, maybe I have biology, chemistry, French, Spanish, specials, or resource class, something like that. Okay, so now you have your classes that you can choose from, and you don't have to do this. You could say that everybody takes LA, everybody takes math, everybody takes social studies. You don't have to individualize the classes. So I could say everyone's going to have the same homework, so I'm just going to call it language arts and then just drag this down to every single student, be done. I'm going to just like put a few of these in here. We'll make this one period 1, period 1, period 1, period 2, and then algebra, geometry. So we give everyone a class. If you don't give them a class, no homework will show up. So if you have a kid that doesn't take one of these classes, then you could just leave it blank and nothing will show up for them for that homework. Okay, so I just go through and we'll just do that. We'll say everybody's taking French for now, and then other, we'll do a few specials, a few resource. Okay, so once I do that, then when I go into homework, I can give individualized homework for each of my classes, and it will match it to the students in that class and populate it to their page. So period 1 homework might be like read. Period 2 maybe has to write. Period 3 maybe has to do an essay. Okay, and I can see in here, if I remember correctly, Liam Black was in period 1, so now you could see that in the LA homework for Liam Black, it says read. Jennifer Collins was in period 2, it says write. Yay. So for algebra, maybe I'll... Okay, so you can put anything you want in for these. Okay, so you put your homework in. Maybe you have none. You put none in. Maybe every class has the same homework. So if that's the case, you could just drag it down. So if you want to do it one period at a time, just in case sometimes you have some sort of interruption that makes one class not meet or something like that, so that it gets off and you want to have them separated by class, but then everyone has the same homework most of the time. You can just type it in one and drag it down. Okay, so we got all the homework in. Now everybody's pages are populated with their homework for their individual class. Okay, the next part that we have is, I'm going to skip the tracker for right now and go to the owed work. So if anyone owes work, so let's say that Joey Smith owes a test on equations. Okay, so I put that in there, and then when I go to Joey Smith's individual page, there he is. You can see it's here and it's highlighted in yellow to draw attention to the fact that he owes this work. So sometimes we tell kids they owe things, we post our homework, but this gives them that accountability to just have it all in front of them all the time. And then the last part is the tracker. So the tracker is, we use it as a way to hold students accountable for their behavior and their homework, their academics, everything else. So we might say that on August 29th, Liam Black didn't have the homework done. And maybe also on August 29th, Liam Black wasn't prepared for class. Okay, so we could put things like that on. There's 5 weeks in every month. We start school late in August, so I don't need all of these other August ones. So I'm going to use the first one, and then I'm just going to take and hide the rest. Okay, and then we get into September. So then I can start typing there. If I can change the dates, I can change the months, that's all fine. If I need to add another column, so maybe someone has more than 5 things that I want to track, then I can add another column. But after I do that, I need to make sure that I just hit this update dates, because that will keep all of the references in the right spot. Okay, so then if I go to Liam Black, you can see it has the count of how many he got, as well as what they were. It takes exactly what's written in those boxes and counts how many there are. It keeps a running total for both the month and the year. So you can use this in all different ways. If you want to change anything about how this is done, so for example, I put some conditional formatting on this. If a kid has 3 or more, I make it highlight red so that we can see that they have not met expectations for that week. And that's automatically done. If you want to do anything to change that, if you want to get rid of this column that has totals, any of that, I would put what we do here, but I didn't create that. So I'm just kind of giving you examples of how you could use this if you wanted to. So if you want to make any changes, never touch any of the student sheets. You can make changes on the template. So if I don't want it to count the totals, I could just get rid of this column altogether. I could just delete this. And then I just come up here to dashboard tools and I could copy the template. Okay, if you want to do some conditional formatting on your template, it's just easier to make them 2 different so it doesn't run so much code. Okay, so that's how you can use that. So you can see everybody gets their own individual tracker. The homework I think is also good. If I said like, okay, Liam Black is getting a separate assignment for LA today, I could add Liam as one of my classes. Nobody sees this except for whoever you've shared it with. The students will only see their own individual one. So then when I go to classes, student schedules, I could change Liam. Okay, so I go to classes. I put that in the wrong place, didn't I? We're going to undo that. I'm going to go to classes. I'm going to type in Liam here. And then that will automatically put it in the homework. And then in student schedules, I could say Liam gets his own assignment. And then in the homework, I'll type in what that is. That'll show up on his dashboard only and nobody else's. And then the last thing is how to share these with your students and possibly your parents if that's what you want to do. So you would just put the student email, parent emails in here, and then you're going to go to File. You're going to Share, Publish to Web. You publish the entire document. Okay, and then you're going to get links for the individual sheets. So I only want Liam Black to see Liam Black's information. So I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to paste it there. Now this part is definitely a little bit tedious, but again, only needs to be done one time. So go back to share. We've already published it. We just need to, sorry, I pushed the wrong thing there. Go to share, publish to web. And then the next person I'm on, Jennifer Collins right now. So I'm going to go to Jennifer Collins. I'm going to copy hers. And I'm going to paste it in hers. So now I'm going to send these all to the students, the parents. I could use a mail merge to do that so I don't have to send them individually. And if you go to it, it's going to take you to just that individual student sheet. Shows you their homework, shows you any owed work, and then whatever they might have on their data sheet there. If you have any other questions, reach out to me. Let me know what else you think would be helpful, and hopefully you find this helpful. You can find it on my Teachers Pay Teachers page.